Welcome you all to my channel The Sociological Insight. Today I'm going to discuss a very basic thing of sociology, that is what is it, what is the meaning of sociology. If anybody want to know about sociology or from any other discipline, if they want to know about sociology or the student of sociology also, these are very important. That's why I made this presentation about the meaning of sociology. So, what is sociology? Sociology is the systematic, skeptical, and critical study of the society. It studies the way that people do things together. So, it is a discipline which studies society scientifically. And if you see that the sociological knowledge, it direct attention to the concrete situation within which individual must act, and it creates individual awareness of the complex processes involved in social intercourse, and it helps individual to deal with the situation more effectively. If you see the term sociology, then you can see that it is coined by Auguste Comte in 1839, and he is considered as the father of sociology. And if you go through the history of sociology, you can see that there are a number of factors responsible for the development of the subject. For example, French Revolution, Industrial Revolution, Enlightenment, or intellectual evolution. And the various thinkers are also associated with the development of the discipline. I'm not going to discuss on that, and I need a separate presentation for that. As this point, a very important thing, basic thing, that actually the term sociology that is coined by Auguste Comte. Before using the term sociology, he used the term social physics, but after that, he actually felt that the sociology is the most appropriate term that study the subject, study the society scientifically. And if you see the etymological meaning of the term sociology, then you can see this term sociology, it is composed of two words, that is the Latin socius, that means companionship, and the Greek word, that is logos, that means study of. So literally it means the study of processes of companionship. In this context, sociology may be defined as the analysis of the structure of social relationship as constituted by social interaction. So sociology actually it seeks to deepen our understanding of human relationship by unraveling new truths about them. Okay, so it helps in removing ignorance about human relationship, and it is relevant wherever human relations are at work, and whatever the field the emphasis will be on understanding human behavior and relationship. Sociology always enables us to understand the world we live in, but also to understand ourselves, for we are the product of this world. So this understanding can help us to gain more control over our lives, but it can also be with more practical uses as well. So in fact, it can be argued that sociology is indispensable for understanding the present complex world. Okay, so next important thing that here I actually discussed the interpretation of various thinkers about the subject sociology. First of all, Peter Berger in his book The Invitation to Sociology in 1963, he discussed the subject. He said that the sociologist is someone that concerned with understanding society in a disciplined way. Sociologists, they are the thinker who study the various societal aspects. They try to understand the society in a disciplined way. That means the different sociological studies would be systematic one, and that's why the nature of the discipline is always scientific. It always uses numbers or methods and techniques to find out the real truth or fact behind different social events, and that's why the discipline is scientific one. If you see the Zygmunt Bauman interpretation in his book The Thinking Sociology in 1990, according to him, sociology is first and foremost a way of thinking about the human world. It is about way of thinking about the human world. It asks how's, that means how's individual think in a particular way. What are the way of people? What are the way of thinking of people? Does it matter that human live always in the company of, in communication with, in an exchange with, in competition with, in cooperation with other human beings? And that mentioned by him, competition, cooperation, that is some process. And sociology also deal with that kind of processes also. And these processes are very important in a society or for human being to live as a human being in society. And its question that is defamiliarize the familiar. So, if you see the Richard Jenkins in the book Foundation of Sociology, he said the world of human, is the distinctive realm of human experience and existence, and the subject matter with which sociology is concerned. That means Richard Jenkins mentioned that subject matter of sociology is about different realm of human experience and existence in human world. Next, if we see the interpretation of Durkheim, what he says, sociology is the science of social institution, their genesis and development. This is the thing that actually sociology is about a different kind of social institution, like religion. He discussed, if you see the interpretation of Durkheim about religion, he discussed about religion in a book, The Elementary Forms of Religious Life, which was published in 1912. And Durkheim actually made different contribution to the development of the subject. He said about importance of comparative method in sociological research. So in different way, he actually contributed a lot. And if you see his definition to understand sociology, they help us to understand it. That it is the science of social institution, about the genesis of various social institution and its development. Again, if you see Alex Sinclair wrote a book that about what is sociology. And if you go through that book, then you can understand the meaning of sociology. Actually, he discussed in that book mostly about what is the meaning of sociology, what is the scope of sociology. So as a whole, if you see his interpretation, what he says that it is the study of social systems of social action and of their interrelations. Here, in context of social action, you will have to remember, individual actions are not social action. Social action are collective action. If you see the interpretation of Max Weber in social action, what Max Weber said, meaningful actions are always social action. And individual action are not social action, collective action are social action. If individually I am doing something, this is my own action. But if collective action, that is social action. So what sociology study? It studied the social system of social action and of interrelations. And if you say the interpretation of Akbar Nimko about sociology, that sociology is the scientific study of social life. This is the very important thing, that it is the scientific study of social life, how it studied society scientifically. It is various methods and techniques that uses in context of its research work. And if you see the interpretation of Simal, the main object of sociology is the study of forms of social interaction, that is the interpretation of Simal. Actually, if you see the scope of sociology, in the scope of sociology there is a two school of thought. One is synthetic school of thought, where you can see the interpretation of Durkheim, mostly numbers of thinkers associated with the synthetic school of thought. And formalistic school of thought, where main founder of formalistic school of is George Simmel. And where he said sociology mostly study about the forms of social interactions or social relationship. So sociology is an attempt to understand the social world by situating social events in their corresponding environment. Corresponding environment, what is it? That means social structure, culture, history, these are about different corresponding environment. So sociology, it is an attempt to understand the social world. It tries to understand social phenomena by collecting and analyzing empirical data. So it's very important that yes, it try to understand social world, but how? It try to understand social world, it tries to understand social phenomena by collecting and analyzing empirical data. And sociology is not only study of social relationship, activities and incident, but also of their forms. It is the synthesis of social sciences. And here I will have to mention, sociology is considered as the mother of all other social sciences. It has very close link with other social science. For example, it has close link with economics, it has close link with psychology, it has close link with political science, it has close link with history. In this way, this subject is very well connected with other social sciences. That's why actually it is considered as the mother of all social sciences. And it is concerned with the whole of human society. According to the synthetic school of thought, it studied the society as a whole, not only the part, but it's also about the whole. So, its central concern is to study society as an interconnected whole, and its subject matter is human's behavior as social being. It's about our behavior. It's about human behavior as social being, and studied it scientifically. So here I put interpretation of Robert Bierstedt. Robert Bierstedt wrote a book that is A Social Order, where he discussed the meaning of sociology in an elaborative manner. Where the Robert Bierstedt, if you see the interpretation of Robert Bierstedt in this context, according to him, sociology is a social science. It is not a natural science. Why? Because it is concerned with human social behavior, not physical events or processes. It not concerned with physical events, it not concerned with natural events. Suppose it not concerned with the reason of earthquake, but it studies the different impact of earthquake, social impact. It is not like chemistry or physics. For sociology, there is no that kind of laboratory like chemistry or physics, but society itself is a laboratory for sociology. It is for sociology, society is a laboratory. So it is social science. It studies the society, it studies human being, it studies the various events and issues of society. That's why it is considered as a social science. Next, mentioned by Robert Bierstedt, sociology is a categorical science. Categorical discipline, not a normative one. That means it describes what is not what should be. Okay. So this is the thing. Next, it is a pure science. It is not applied science. If you see the immediate goal of sociology, what is it? This is to acquire knowledge about human being. It is not concerned how this knowledge is used. Next, sociology is an abstract science, not a concrete one. That means it is concerned with patterns of human events, not concrete specific events. For example, war, evolution, not a particular war. Okay. Next one, it is a generalizing discipline rather than particularizing or individualizing. That means it seeks general laws or principle about human interaction or association, not as in the case of history or complete and comprehensive description of particular societies and events. So that are the interpretation of Robert Bierstedt in context of sociology. So if you see the main uses of sociology, how we can use sociology in different contexts, then you can see it provides a basic understanding of human society, how social systems work, how people's behavior is modified by their circumstances. These are the uses. It broadens the range of our perspective from which we try to understand the social world. It gives us an insight into our daily life like a tourist guide. It helps in removing ignorance about human relationship. Okay, then it provides us an orientation to the use of research technique applicable in a wide variety of contexts. Again, if you see, it helps us understand ourselves and our position in society. It is a source of self-enlightenment and increases self-understanding. It is a useful preparation for our career. It helps us in developing awareness of cultural differences. And if you see the importance of sociological research, it provides practical help in assessing the result of policy initiatives. So, in different way, if you see, the sociology subject is very, very useful. So, if you see that it plays a very important role in developing critical thinking. It can help students to better understand the working of their own society and other culture. They can use sociological concept, approaches, theories in enunciating human relationship and institution. And by using different sociological imagination, we can examine different public policies or issues such as capital punishment, feminism, different reservation, different kind of things we can understand. So this is the thing that sociology is very important discipline. It is a very important discipline from academy. As academic discipline, it's very important. And Anthony Giddens, he actually remarked that studying sociology should be liberating experience. He said that sociology enlarges our sympathies and imagination. It opens up new perspective on the sources of our own behavior, and it creates an awareness of cultural settings different from our own. And sociological thinking is a vital help to self-understanding, which in turn can be focused back on an improved understanding of the social world. And if you see the main contribution of sociology, this is nothing but it will make more sense of our life. So thank you. Yes, I will have to discuss with you about the various, like you can say, importance of sociology in a different, like you can see in different presentation. I will have to make that. The why subject of sociology, the subject sociology is important as an academic discipline. I will have to discuss in my next slide, next presentation. So, uh, thank you. Actually, here I just put some important point that mentioned by Anthony Giddens, that sociology importance it studies society in a scientific manner. It throws more light on the social nature of man. It improves our understanding of society and increases the power of social action. And study of sociology help us to not know not only about our society and or man and woman, but also about other society. We can understand by studying the subject sociology, and it it helps to understand other society, their motives, aspirations, status, occupations, tradition, custom, institution, culture, etc. It contributes to enrich culture. It studies great social institution and relation of individual of each one of them. It is very useful as a teaching subject. If you see the need for the subject of sociology, greater especially underdeveloped countries. Sociological knowledge is necessary for understanding and planning of society. If you use sociological techniques that have a practical utility to deal any social problem. And study of society, it helps government to promote the welfare of the tribal people. And sociology has drawn people's attention to the intrinsic worth and dignity of man. And it helps us to know about modern social institution and development. So this is about the importance of the subject as an academic discipline. So thank you, all of you.